it's time to inject your name into the conversation as one of the better lightweights in the world. I know you're not the shot-calling type, but how soon are you going to get back in here, and will you get a ranked guy next?
John, we've talked about this so many times. I'm not calling anyone out. I know Smiling Sam Helvey likes to do it and then have an opponent by the time he gets back to the locker room. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go fishing tomorrow, and I'm going to go fishing with all my buddies who are here tonight. And I'm going to go fishing on Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm going to go back and watch my #1 training partner, Andre Harrison, on Thursday night fight in Madison Square Garden. And he's going to come out with a win and end up at 18-0. He's part of the reason I'm as tough as I am. And I'm going to do some fishing, and I'm going to go watch Andre. We'll get back in the gym, and we'll figure out where to go from there. Talk to Keith. He'll pick my opponent.
All right, man. Well, you reeled in a big one tonight. Go enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, Gregor the Gift.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence. Normally, we are a podcast that talks about MMA podcasts. Normally, we let you know the shows we should, or you should, catch, skip, and can't miss each week, as well as a new MMA podcast. However, this is our recap episode for UFC Fight Night 131, Utica Rivera versus Moraes. Good God, I can't wait for these titles to get shorter here shortly.
Yeah, right. AKA Upstate New York represent.
That's right. I am Polar. I'm here with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. What up, dude?
Waking up.
That's right. Sipping on some coffee out of my sweet Reykjavik Big Lebowski bar mug.
Careful, man. There's a beverage here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to quickly break down the UFC Fight Night 131 card that happened on Saturday. However, first, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the bare knuckle boxing card that happened this weekend, which was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I was at the comfort of the beach in La Jolla while watching it. Of course, because I bought it, and watched it on my phone.
Super legitimately.
Yeah, so...
On Fight TV.
Yep, on Fight TV. The reception was a little shoddy, but you could blame
but that's probably La Jolla,
cell phone provider, carrier. But either way, man, I was thoroughly entertained. Barring just a couple of the fights, I was basically expecting people breaking their hands after one punch and going, I'm done.
You would think it would be a lot more of that, but luckily a lot of these dudes know how to fight bare knuckle, evidently, which is surprising. Which also probably should not be surprising, considering I would imagine a lot of the dudes on this card have been in the streets in a couple fights before.
Yeah, do you remember? I remember before the Bobby Gunn fight, one of the commentators was like, "Oh, Bobby said during this fight he's only going to keep his punches at 40%."
Right. Cut to landing 3 punches and the dude pretending to die.
Sure, Bobby, 40%.
Yeah.
Puts him to the ground.
We'll see how that goes. I do want to give a plug, though. We plugged the coffee you're drinking, which I don't remember what kind it is. Some kind of weird, Tunisian coffee or some shit I have.
Yeah, it was in a brown paper bag, but it's good.
Yeah, it's alright. But I am drinking like a goddamn adult. Since I finished all my Papa vodka like a goddamn adult. Also, shouts out to...
sorry to interrupt. I remember you showed me a picture of your bet that you lost.
I did lose a bet to Bill from
how much of that
Rocks.
did you have to drink?
Well, he said, pick the main event. If you're wrong, take a shot and post a picture. And I said Moraes. I was pretty confident. Not only did I say Moraes, I asked him to pick someone who evidently no one else did. So he ended up picking, what's his face? Sorry, I picked Lineker. He picked Moraes.
You mean Rivera?
Sorry. Jesus. That's right. It was not a Lineker fight. To be fair, dude...
They're all short.
They're all the same size, and Moraes and Lineker don't fight that different.
Yeah.
Also, didn't they fight not that long ago?
That's not true. I'd say Moraes is way more technical. Lineker
True.
just loves the hooks.
They both love to throw bombs, though, is my point. But yeah. So anyway, I tweeted out to Bill that I had Rivera and he had Moraes, and he responded back saying, "All right, I got what's this bald motherfucker that looks like Krillin."
Yeah, and One Punch Man.
yeah. One Punch Man like a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
So as soon as that fight happened, that was maybe 5 minutes before that fight happened. So that was a very short response. I was like, oh shit, I gotta pay this off. And I was gonna just take a shot of Pop Off, but that doesn't really sell I told him even ahead of time, I was like, I'm drinking Pop-Off because I'm not going to take a shot of the, I had some nice whiskey, I forget what it was. Not Knob Creek, but like...
Oh, it was that,
something.
Whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I remember you showed me...
I had a decent bottle of whiskey, so instead of that, I was like, I'll take a shot of Pop-Off. But you can't really sell what a shot of Pop-Off feels like by just looking at a clear glass of a shot, so... I ended up just posting a picture of me chugging a giant bottle, one of those plastic bottle handles of vodka, of Pop-Off, which worked out well. Also, that tweet was totally not sponsored by Doug Stanhope and not legitimate, which I also tagged and Doug Stanhope liked. So I feel like it was I feel like we did that event correctly, but... Oh boy, we will get to this bare knuckle boxing card. It was a lot of fun, man. First off, I was very happy to see Sean Wheelock doing commentary.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He did it with Antonio Tarver, who's a longtime boxer.
Who was the ring guy? Because I remember when I was watching it. G6, by the way, everyone was part of my company at the beach. With my roommates and a couple of friends, and G6 was with us at the beach.
That's right. Oh, actually, I'm going to cut you off real quick because I forgot my segue.
Oh.
The reason I mentioned all that is because I am drinking a beer this week. I'm drinking Avery's Bug Zapper, which is our official, totally not fake, Doug Stanhope podcast presents, Papa Vodka presents our sponsor, or whatever order I normally do that in. This is a weird beer. Here. Actually, that's going to be even weirder after taking a sip of coffee.
Whatever.
It is a lime, mint, and ginger sour ale.
Being a mess. Dude, that's really good. Holy shit.
It's really good,
that's
right?
Really good.
But combined with
I didn't
coffee,
get it on my shirt. We're okay.
Combined with coffee, it's got to be a weird, weird.
No, it's strong enough. It wasn't. This coffee is.
It cuts right
strong,
through
so,
it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good beer.
It's very drinkable. I'm a big Avery fan, and I was impressed by this one for sure. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, but it was funny. I can't remember who the ring announcer was. But
was it Joe Martinez or something?
No. It was this guy. The very peculiar outfit and haircut. I'm like, I told G6 looks like a metrosexual Brock Lesnar, and he couldn't agree more.
Oh yeah,
that
there
guy.
was that
you know
guy.
What I mean, He's like really flashy dressed.
I couldn't place that dude at
Huge
all.
fucking neck, and had the same haircut. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was definitely a character.
But he sold it though. Yeah.
I mean, really, the ideal announcer for that event is the glory guy. The guy that does, "It's time for glory," all southern and shit. That dude is the perfect announcer for that card. So hopefully he gets on the next event. But man, this was a lot of fun. I saw you. So you were watching this at the beach with G6 and Lil Trevor, who've been on the show. But I only caught like the first fight and then the last handful of fights because I got stuck doing girlfriend. Things
I'm trying
weekend.
to. I think was Maurice. Who was the guy 6'9"? I think that was Maurice Jackson. Dale Soapy, I think, was the Hawaiian. There was a fight, dude. This guy is 6'9".
Is he the one that hit the clinch uppercuts?
Yeah, he kept uppercutting the smaller.
Yeah, that was Maurice.
It's like, how do you fucking match up a guy who's 6'9" to first 5'10"? It's just like, what the fuck?
There was a lot of weird matchups on this card, to be fair. And some questionable ones,
it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Let's see. I keep confusing Maurice Jackson with Maurice
this
Smith.
guy. 6'9".
Yeah, I confuse him with Murray Smith all the time. Because there's like two people named Maurice who fight. But yeah, he got a big win. Johnny Bedford got a big win via TKO in round 2, which is pretty impressive. Bobby Gunn. We should talk about the Bobby Gunn thing. Yeah,
some people on Reddit thought it was a fix based on it was just 2 liver shots that put down his opponent.
Okay, I wasn't going to say it was a fix, but counterpoint.
And I'm not saying it's a fix, I'm just saying this is what Reddit... Because when I watched the fight, and I immediately went to Reddit, and I was like, wonder what they think. And then they were saying fix. And then I was like, I could see why they say that.
Yeah,
but literally 2 fucking punches to the liver.
He got clubbed with those shots to the liver.
Yeah, it was directly right on.
And the other thing about that, counterpoint, his opponent's nickname, Beto. I feel like your nickname is Beto, you're probably not winning a lot of fights.
Well, and the fact that I saw Bobby Gunn's like 71-0, I'm like, well, clearly this guy's still gonna win. He is, when I heard about bare knuckle boxing, he was the first dude I heard about. Yeah.
So, if that gives you any kind of indication, yeah. I mean, he was expected to win. I'm surprised he wasn't higher up on the card. That kind of blew me away. I'm surprised he wasn't against someone with a name.
I thought he was, like, British.
I had no
idea he was American.
Yeah, I really wish they would have put him against an MMA fighter, because I think that would have been cool as shit. Like, not Joe Riggs, because Joe Riggs just got deaded recently. He, like, fucked up his leg, but, like,
Put him against Roy Nelson.
No, oh my god, no, way too big a size difference. I think Bobby Gunn's like
he was like 222. Yeah, he's smaller.
And that's not cutting weight at all.
Yeah,
that's like being fat and not cutting weight.
That's true.
So, Sean Shoemaker absolutely crumpled Eric Prindle in 18 seconds. Beck Rawlings and Alma Garcia, you saw that fight, right?
Oh, yes, I did.
Beck looked great and did exactly what you should do against a fucking power boxer in bare knuckle fighting, which is just point your elbows at every single punch and hope she breaks her hands quickly, which worked out perfectly because that girl's hands were fucked after the first round. The second round, Beck started to come on and light her on fire. Even the end of the first, Beck probably stole that first round just off the volume and power she put on her at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then second round, the girl comes out winging bombs again. Beck is able to stop it, and the corner, I think, stopped it between rounds in that one. But fun fight. And Beck Rawlings looks like kind of a motherfucker in that order.
Yeah, I think she's gonna find a fun little home there.
I mean,
I don't know how often their pay-per-view is gonna be. If it's gonna be a monthly thing.
Her hands have always been decent. It's her wrestling that's always been a liability for her.
Yeah, it's just she's not athletic enough to succeed in MMA, more or less, where she could rely on her hands and boxing skills here, and you just have...
Well, and she has to be more hesitant about the takedown and the clinch and all that, because she gets stuck in the clinch.
There's a lot more things going on that you have to process in your decision-making, anticipating. It's just fucking chess out there. So.
Yeah, but she looked great, and I also heard some rumors on Twitter that Heather Hardy was trying to hit up people saying how she can get into that, which, speaking of people who are not the best MMA fighters, but would be great bare knuckle boxers.
Yeah, Heather Hardy would be a great bare knuckle.
Heather Hardy would be a motherfucker in that ring. I'm telling you.
I wonder how Holly Holm would do, even though I know she's a counterboxer.
Great, except, actually no, she'd do great, but she would win by like long, slow decisions via jab.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of her game would be, because a lot of her game is like long kicks.
Yeah.
But I still think she would just sit behind a jab and outwork people for long decisions and be no one's favorite. Because she's not going to throw any, especially in that
Chris
situation.
Cyborg would fucking wreck shop, I feel like.
I don't think so. I think she breaks her hands in every fight.
Oh, just
the way she fights? Dude, that she does not throw it, like, unless she really, really tried not to break her hands. I think she breaks her hands immediately at every fight. The way she throws and clubs girls behind behind the ear and top of the head all the time. But then again, Jason Perlo, so who knows? Joey Beltran and Tony Lopez.
This fight was a fun mess.
Had a fucking wild mess of a fight. Yeah, Tony Lopez
I was surprised
with blood hair.
at some points that they didn't actually call it, like TKO.
Either way, both of them were getting fucked up by the end of that
shouts out
fight.
to Beltran. He's from Carlsbad.
Yeah. Beltran's been around forever, and Tony Lopez is the guy who killed what's his face in the ring in Edmonton not that long ago.
Oh, like he killed someone in the ring?
Well, yeah, ex-MMA fighter died in Edmonton. Well, not in the ring, but
well, he got knocked down, didn't wake up, so he just died.
Tommy.
It was manslaughter.
Yeah, but via the commission. But
yes, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but so Tony Lopez was coming off that. Also, Tony Lopez was scheduled for a fight, I think on the 8th of this month, which is like 4 or 5 days from now.
Yeah.
Which they luckily
that's not happening.
Luckily the promotion said he was under contract that you can't fight 30 days before this, so we are terminating the contract. But yeesh, thank God, because him fighting again that close together after that kind of fight. Also, his hands are so broken.
Yeah,
so broken.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see. I like the wrist wrap thing they did, where they wrap the wrist but not the knuckles.
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting to where you're not breaking... No one's breaking their wrists or getting boxer's fractures, but they're busting the fuck out of their knuckles and getting, like, fractures on the smaller bones, which I would think would be easier to heal and less damaging in the long term. I always heard boxer's fractures are the worst because if you clip a pink, like I've gotten a boxer's fracture by
it does that
hitting a
triangle
stud.
fracture,
Yeah, I hit a stud before and I straight cracked my entire pinky in half. So like that shit just went straight triangle across the top of my hand. And that shit is a pain to recover, but I believe, from what I understand, it's a little bit easier if it's not the center of your hand that's like literally TPing up and shit. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects people. I know Beck Rawlings' hands were looking fucked up.
Yeah,
it's great pictures of her
fighting. Had a lot of coverage on Instagram, and they had some really good before and after pictures.
I think she might have been on Ariel's show this week as well.
Yes, she was.
Which I don't know what's an Ariel show.
I'm gonna pick and choose for sure, at least as far as
I'll read through the notes like Ben Folks, but I'm I'll cover.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. We will cover the last MMA Fortnite. We will do that for sure. But this wasn't it. So, but yeah, you were gonna say?
Yeah, I'll probably pick and choose some of the guests. Like Kamaru Usman's on there, but then I could already kind of see Ariel.
You know how that's gonna go.
With
Yeah.
Darren Till, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did you see this? Blah 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 blah. Said this about you. What do you think of that, Kamaru?
Yeah. Also, we have Darren Till on the line randomly.
Yeah, right. He's calling in because Kamaru was in studio.
Yeah.
So there's like you can imagine he just puts his face up on Skype.
Ariel loves that type of shit. And then in the main event, Rico Rodriguez recently coming off I believe he lost at the Cam Soda Legends tournament.
It's fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ.
God, that was such a fucking shit show.
Oh yeah,
card.
Colby Covington being shoved by Crazy Horse or Felony, whatever you call him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, him and Mike Perry and Alex Nicholson almost all fought like 3 different times.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Anyway, Rico Rodriguez got the unanimous decision over Luis Rumsey, which first off, shouts out to your last name, Lewis, because Rumsey is a great last name. But Rico Rodriguez is way to a decision. This looked like classic Rico Rodriguez if he was very hittable.
Yeah, I didn't even see this fight, to be honest.
It's long.
I actually totally forgot about it.
To be fair, I don't remember much of this fight other than being like, oh boy, Rico's just going to throw a giant punch and then grab the clinch every time, huh? So that was, that's what to be honest, that's what I remember from that fight. But I really like this card overall, and I'm excited to see. So a lot of those fights were first rounds of a tournament for belts.
Okay.
I know Beck actually has the belt, technically.
Huh.
I think, or at least from what I understand, for the women's division. But a lot of those, they were hinting this is the first of 3 fights this year, or the first of 3 cards we're going to put on this year. We're going to put on another card around August or September for a second round of winners, and then those winners will fight these winners for the belt at the end of the year.
Okay.
Which sounds dope.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, man. It's very cool seeing bare knuckle boxing because it completely changes how people throw punches.
Yep.
I mean, it has to, or else you see people crushing their hands.
You got to pull your punches. There's certain areas where you can only really want to make contact as far as clean contact.
Exactly. Like if you clip the top of somebody's head or an elbow, you're fucked. I'd probably just
concentrate on rocking the body, a lot of the liver.
I think the way to do it is the way people like Beck Rawlings and a lot of people did it, which you just throw out a jab the entire time and make someone sit behind a jab and like just constantly throw elbows at every big power shot and hope they break their hand. Because sitting behind a jab is kind of why bare knuckle boxing got so. If you watch any of the old bare knuckle boxing fights, or even some of the like Irish gypsy boxing fights and stuff where it's bare knuckle, most of those dudes sit behind a jab the entire time. Like it's whoever has the better jab wins most of the time, because you just bust somebody up and you don't fuck up your hand. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves going forward and see how people's game plans start changing. Also, the clinch in that was really interesting because they let him clinch a lot. It was, I believe I forget the other ref, but the main ref I remember was Big Tan Dan Murgliata.
Yeah, and I saw him. I noticed in some of the clinch exchanges they let them kind of get like collar behind the neck grabs, and they can kind of
single collar tie and just banging with hooks. Like that's how Beck Rawlings won her fight. She just kept grabbing that single collar tie and banging that girl up with hooks. So, should be interesting going forward. I'm definitely looking forward to more of it, for sure. Alright, well, I guess we will get to UFC 131 Utica, Moraes versus Jimmy Rivera. This was a fun card, much like I thought it would be. Alright, Chris has more coffee, so we are back at it. Because otherwise, one of us is going to pass out, and, well, it's still 50-50 as to whether I pass out. I did have some Popov, I had some, what is that, Pinnacle Raspberry Vodka.
Ooh.
Have
fun with that.
I had some hams, and I had some Bug Zapper, so it's been quite an evening.
It's quite the death mix.
You know, bro, I don't discriminate between boozes. I'm an equal opportunity offender when it comes to boozes. So we'll start at the top of this card. Oh boy, Marlon Moraes and Jimmy Rivera did not last long.
It did not, and that switch kick was so impressive. I rewinded that so many times just on how quick he set that up, and he just delivered the head kick. Like, Jesus Christ, no wonder why Rivera didn't see it coming.
Super quick, and Rivera even blocked. He just didn't block high enough.
Yeah, that is
because
true.
He clipped the very top of his head over his ear. So then you can see actually in the video when Rivera's talking to his corner while they're about to announce the fight, like right before, Rivera's saying like, I blocked it, and his corner's saying like, yeah, you did, but that's why you got to go two hands or you got to go really high elbow.
Yeah.
Because it clipped the top of your head, and you can see Rivera be like, fuck. But you got that completely right. You nailed Moraes on the TKO finish in the main event, and man, the only thing is, it has a little bit of a Conor Aldo feel in that I feel like it's one of the best matchups ever, and we didn't get to see nearly enough of it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's disappointing. I feel like eventually, depending on how the striking exchanges went, you probably see Rivera try to take Moraes to the ground.
It feels that way, right?
Yeah. I know Moraes has good takedown defense, and he's going to do sprawls.
True, but like you wonder how well Moraes can, like if Jimmy Rivera was able to push a pace and stay behind a jab for a lot of that fight, you wonder how long Moraes can hang at that pace.
It's true, yeah.
Because Moraes is good at keeping he'll flurry a lot, but he's not just constant in your face pressure kind of dude generally. So, man, huge win for Marlon Moraes. You gotta give him a title shot, right?
Yeah, I know he said his plan is to currently wait for a title shot, which not a bad idea.
I mean, you kind of have to at this point because of the way that division is shaking.
I know
out.
some people kind of float around, have him fight Dominic Cruz. But
yeah, but Dom needs a win to get back. Like, Dom and Jimmy makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. Like their original.
Dom's off the big layoff. Jimmy is coming off a loss. They were talking about doing that fight forever.
Well, it was booked.
That or Dom versus Sun Tzu.
Sun is actually fighting at 226 against Rob Font.
Oh,
which is interesting.
Wow,
It's weird. The number 3 versus number 12.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they booked that.
Isn't Rob Font coming off a loss too?
Yeah. Wait, no. Wait, fuck. Now I don't even know.
He is coming off of, let's see. Rob Font's last fight was, no, you're right, he has a win over Thomas Almeida and the loss to Pedro Munoz.
I feel like Thomas Almeida is the unfortunate stepping stone for a lot of fighters.
Dude.
Like, you finished Thomas Almeida, let's give you to the number 3 guy. Fuck it.
Speaking of which, who just styled on Thomas Almeida recently that looked really good?
Oh, like recently?
Yeah. The last fight Thomas Almeida had.
Someone just beat him too.
Somebody just styled on him bad. I forget who it was. I'll look it up. But yeah, anyway, I think you have to give him the title shot, right? He sits out and gets that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't,
I know a Sun Tzu will make.
You gotta go him versus Sun Tzu, right?
The rematch, because that was Moraes' UFC debut, and he lost via split decision.
Right.
It was just a bunch of kicking exchanges, though.
Right. So
Almeida, it didn't even really wasn't that. It was weird.
Yeah, man. And Almeida is coming off of back-to-back losses against Jimmy Rivera and Rob Font, which is a rough. Well, actually, his last 3 losses are Rob Font, Jimmy Rivera, and Cody Garbrandt. Yeah. So maybe that Rob Font fight does make a little bit more sense, but still, not that big a fan of it. So that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Huge fucking win by Marlon Moraes, and you cannot deny that dude any longer. He is 100% the top of the pack of that division.
Yep. This co-main event of the evening was a fun one.
Dude, super fun. And this dude, he's become one of my guys real quickly.
Yeah.
Hard not to be a Greg Gillespie fan.
Yeah, he helped me in fantasy.
That's
this
right.
year.
Dude.
Damaged me in fantasy because one of our opponents who were going up against Adam got him a solid 22 points. But luckily for me, I had Marlon Moraes who got me a solid 24 points.
True.
It's kind of offsets, but yeah, Greg Gillespie's been very, very impressive. I think he'll get a top 15 guy. Not next fight. Not next fight because remember I was showing you the rankings. If you were to give him the number 15 guy, that'd be Olivier Aubin-Mercier, OAM.
According to Tapology, right?
Well,
that's according to UFC. According to Tapology, number 15 is Trinaldo, 14 is Felder, 13 is Pettis.
No, you're looking at lightweight.
Oh, you're right. He's Feather, huh?
No,
he's 70?
He's no wait. No, he is lightweight. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
He is lightweight. Yeah.
Fuck? My bad.
Well, no, because you were just saying he's
small enough to be a featherweight. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
OAM, according to UFC, is 15.
OAM's 17, according to Tapology. I like that fight. The problem is you're going to kill off the contender.
Yeah.
Because both those dudes are money. And I think OAM has a fight book, doesn't he?
Let's find out.
Let me look, because I believe he is fighting somebody coming up here shortly. Yep. Alexander Hernandez.
Oh, that kid looked legit. That kid had that fucking gnarly knockout. He slept that one guy.
Yeah, he slept Benil Dariush
in 42 seconds of the first round.
They did that back-to-back weeks, right?
Yeah. Holy shit.
He slept Dariush 1 week and the next week... No, that was... Is that Hernandez?
Hernandez slept Dariush. OAM beat Dunham.
Oh, I'm thinking Burns. Right. Yeah, man, that'll be a fun matchup is versus OAM. The only other guys you could do like
maybe give him Evan Dunham, who's 20.
Dunham wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, I definitely want to see a step up in competition.
Yeah,
and more of a vet.
Give him Evan Dunham.
Yeah, I think that. Well, that's a tough fucking fight for Evan Dunham.
Yeah,
like that's the only thing is like I don't know how. Paul Felder type, even though I know Paul Felder has a fight booked right now against what's his face, James Vick.
Ooh. Yeah.
But
get him against number 11 BK.
He definitely yeah. Shouts out to Tapology for having BK at 11. That's about right. He should be behind Michael Chandler. I agree. But yeah, overall, super impressive performance. Great pictures of Gregor Gillespie hanging out with John Anik outside of his boat in the parking lot that says Gregor Gillespie on it. Fucking big fan of that guy, man. He is he's a lot of fun and seems like a very cool dude.
This fight, to me, I know he got the finish.
This one to be fair, we did pretty good on picks for this card. We both had Gillespie by decision, even though he got the sub in the second via arm triangle. And then we had... Actually, he was pretty close to finishing it. I believe it was an Anaconda at the end of the first, too. He had dude wrapped up pretty fucking tight. But the bell saved him. And then Wall Harris took on Daniel Spitz. And we both had Wall Harris by TKO pretty clearly going into this. And I think for a reason. I mean, Wall Harris is coming off that quote-unquote loss via DQ.
Oh, yeah.
Where he 100% won that. Or wait, did they call it a no contest? No, they did call it a DQ. Where he 100% won that fight, and then the ref didn't step in between them, and he head kicked a dude after an eye poke.
Yeah.
Which, like, not cool to do, but, like, also as the ref, for sure step in a little bit more if you're going to be stopping a fight mid-combo.
Yeah.
So, he's coming off that quote-unquote loss to Mark Godbeer where he's piecing him up. Daniel Spitz is coming off the win over, was it Hamilton? No. Yeah, it was Hamilton on that awful knockout in Hamilton's terrible loss streak that he had going.
Oh, yeah.
So, eventually, he was able to work his way in, clip Spitz with a hard hook, and put him down. But this went about how I thought it would go.
Yeah. So did I.
A lot of feinting and a lot of hesitancy from Wall Harris, but I think that's probably smart to draw out some of the movement of Spitz and let him burn some gas. Because Spitz moves way too much for that weight class. Also, he almost dipped into that high kick that I talked about last week.
Yeah.
Like 4 different times during that, so... He's definitely one of those dudes who moves for the sake of moving and not always smartly. I wonder... Is he ranked in that division? He has to be,
It's too
right?
much lateral movement.
He's fucking heavyweight. So there's like 4 people in it.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Where is he in here? Shoo-a-doo.
Huh.
I guess he is not. But then again, these are global rankings across all organizations, not just on UFC. And there's not a lot of heavyweights in the UFC. I would imagine... Man, I'm trying to think of some names you'd give next. Maybe like a Shamil Abdurrahimov or a Junior Albini or something like that.
I can see that.
Because he's got some good wins, but he hasn't really had a big step up in competition. So it'd be good to see him get a win against someone with a name that has been around for a bit, and not just feed him to whatever. Who does he have lost to? Was that the Verdum fight?
Yeah, he was like super, like a day of 24-hour notice.
Yeah, right. Because he was supposed to fight Mark Godbeer on that same card, and then got bumped up. Wins over. Oh yeah, I fought Shamil Abdurrahimov before. It was a split decision. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Actually, if I remember right, that fight was not fun to watch. But I think he's improved a lot more than Shamil Abdurrahimov has since then. So that might be the right fight to make.
Yeah.
All right, we will keep on moving on. Ben Saunders versus Jake Ellenberger. Oh boy.
Yeah, this was there was good work. It was mostly clinching, a lot of clinch work,
which was surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised more or less because we had talked about before in our preview. Ellenberger's been finished, I think, in 2 of his last 3 fights or something like that.
Something like that. I'll pull
and
it
he
up.
got finished by Mike Perry because he committed to the clinch too much, and Perry has those good, quick, sharp elbows. So me and you were discussing, we both took Saunders because we expected him to use his knees, which is what he's known for.
Yeah.
Of course, one thing leading to another. That's exactly how he beat Ellenberger in this fight.
He literally stepped right
him so precisely. Since his precision was so precise, as Goldberg would say, right in the liver, and crumpled him.
That's right, and Ellenberger essentially just walked into his clinch, which...
Yeah, and like you were telling me too, since Ellenberger missed with that one shot, his elbow's not inside, protecting his liver or rib cage, so that kind of let him...
Well, and not only inside, but when you extend and get hit in the liver, it's exposed, way worse. And that was actually the second big knee to the liver he took, because he took one in the exchange right before that.
That's what caused him to back off.
Yeah, because he had dominant clinch position. Ben Saunders clanged him with a left knee to the liver. He kind of backs off a little bit. Saunders initiates tie plum, puts him back, and gets turned against the cage, and then bangs him with that knee to the liver as he, I think it was an uppercut he attempted, but yeah, anytime you have your elbow extended and you get clipped in the liver, it is way worse. It's much, much worse. So, very, very impressive performance by Ben Saunders. Puts him back in the mix a bit, which is interesting. I don't know who he would face next in that division.
Yeah, I can't really imagine.
I'm trying to think of a 170-pounder who is coming off a loss or a win at
If he wasn't retired, I'd say something like Patrick Cote, but he had retired.
Somebody, and I think they fought before.
Yeah, I think they have.
Before Cote moved up, or actually, did they? I want to say they might have. Let me look. The problem with Ben Saunders is one of those guys who you're like, oh shit, he fought that dude.
Yeah, he's fought
yeah, he did fight Patrick Cote, and
he got finished by Cote.
Yeah, he was winning early, if I remember right, and then got finished. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to see Ben Saunders fight again, regardless of who it is. Really, anybody in that division that's coming off a win, especially one of the younger guys. You could probably give him I don't know. Actually, well, I was going to say a Tuesday Night Contender guy, since that's coming up soon, but I don't know if that's the kind of fight that would be fun to put what's his face in? Saunders. I'm trying to think about who is like at that range of that 170 weight. 170 is so deep that it's hard to pull names that deep down the roster.
I can't think of.
I'd have to think about it, but I bet you there's fun fights to make. Also, I want to say he called somebody out, but I'm not sure.
I can't remember either.
I know Alvey did, which we'll get to here in a minute.
Yeah.
But Julio Arce, before that, took out Daniel Tamer with a RNC in the third round.
It was a fun fight.
Super fun.
A lot of fun clinching.
Pretty competitive, too,
Good
for the first
stand-up.
two.
Yeah. Both Tamer brothers are Muay Thai guys. So their bread and butter is winning in the clinch and then backing away and then just sticking with the jab.
Well, that and a lot of outside fighting.
Yeah.
But Daniel is a little bit more wild.
Yeah,
You see a lot
definitely.
more spinning shit from Daniel. Especially,
A lot of spinning back fists in that fight.
Yeah, lot. Like a lot. Pretty interesting fight overall. Julio Arce is a dude who came out of the Contender Series and looked really fucking good. And he has just been looking good. He had some trouble early dealing with some of the clinch pressure of Tamer, but eventually he's able to separate, and a lot of the first round was him sitting out trying to time Tamer. Because after that, he really started clipping him on the entries a lot. And super impressive win from him. So I'm excited to see who he gets going forward. Because that dude's climbing the ranks pretty consistently right now. His wins over Dan Ige and Daniel Tamer, which are big wins.
Is it Ige or Ige? I always forget.
I don't know, man.
I don't even know.
I can't ever keep... Everyone says it differently.
Well, we'll
so it
find out,
constantly fucks
because
me
I
up.
think Dan Ige or Ige fights this weekend on the prelims.
Think you're right? So
Yeah.
John Anik will say the name and
we'll
we'll know
find
how to
out.
say it.
Yeah.
Because that's the rule. How does John Anik say it? That's the right way.
Yeah.
Him and TJ are the two guys where TJ DeSantis will say Yana Kunitskaya versus fucking whatever weird other name that is coming up in Invicta. And he, Raquel Pa'alui and shit like that, where you're like, oh boy, man, without a guide to pronounce this stuff, it'd be rough. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of Julio Arce. His boxing is really fucking impressive.
Yeah,
man.
very impressed by him.
He's super
Fun
slick.
to watch.
And yeah, pressure fighter, a lot of fun.
This fight, for me, was not fun to watch, considering neither fighter had more than 20 strikes in a single round.
Yeah, this fight went about how we thought it would. Also, we should mention, we did have, Harris by TKO, which made sense. We had Saunders by... I had TKO, you had decision. Guess that worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah.
I had, let's see. We both had Arce... Or you had Arce by decision. I had TKO. It was RNC in the third. And then for Alvey versus Volante, you had him... you had Alvey via decision. And I had him via TKO. Because I thought John Volante was going to be much more aggressive in this fight.
Yeah, the last, 20 seconds of this fight was fun, because they were actually fucking...
Well, because he forced Sam Alvey to
rolling.
fight.
Yeah.
Rather than just time counters and land them and scare off John Volante, which was most of this fight. And that's kind of how I thought it was going to go. But I just didn't expect him to be so hesitant.
It's just frustrating to watch Volante fight. I know 205's the most shallow division in the entire UFC, but it's frustrating. Second, yeah.
Shouts out
to feather. Well,
yeah, women's featherweight.
But it's frustrating to me because he trains with Chris Weidman and Stipe. It's I don't know. I feel like you could use more of your athleticism to. I don't know. It's frustrating.
I agree.
Like, dude, the people you surround yourself with, who you fucking train with, you should be putting in better performances.
You would think, yeah.
It's probably mostly mental with him. It has to be.
He should not be at 205. He should be at heavyweight. That dude cuts so much weight from what I've heard. Like, Stipe keeps saying that Volante's constantly, 30 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah.
So that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And Weidman always makes fun of him for being super fucking fat on the internet.
Yeah.
So I would love to see, like, Pat Cummins versus Sam Alvey. I know I'm the only person that's ever going to say that on the face of the planet. But I think that...
He called out Corey Anderson, right?
He did call out Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson did mention that the same day that call out happened, like, almost at the same exact time, he had a call saying his mom was in the hospital. So that's why Corey Anderson was, like, not wanting to get involved and, like, not around on social media. But I think Pat Cummins or Corey Anderson is, like, exactly the right style matchup to see where Sam Alvey fits in that division. Because those are big dudes with good wrestling who are going to test Sam Alvey and really make him work. And I think that'll be fun. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Also, you got guys like Dominic Reyes coming up the ranks, which I don't want to see Sam Alvey and Dominic Reyes, but that sounds like the kind of shit Zuffa would do if they're trying to make a name out of Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
Because Sam Alvey is a low... Either that or get a KO out of Alvey. Because that's the exact kind of fight where one of two things is going to happen. Either Reyes is going to body Sam Alvey the entire time, or Sam Alvey's going to kill a dude on a counter.
Yeah.
So... let's see. And then on the prelims, we had Sajara Eubanks versus Lauren Murphy. You had Lauren Murphy, I believe, because of the weight cut, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah. I remember Murphy's very, very versatile, and she has a lot of durability. She could take damage really well. And I figured...
she definitely can.
I figured Eubanks would tire her out.
Definitely not Eubanks.
Yeah, not Eubanks. Yeah.
Eubanks? Oh boy, I'm gonna bail on that joke. Y'all knew where it was going.
Thinking of a David Cross bit.
I was thinking
I'll aboard that too.
I was trying to remember the name of the Harry Potter bank.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's such a dumb reference.
Yeah, I can't
That's why I bailed on it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, think of Ari Emanuel in as Jeremy Piven in whatchamacallit. Yeah. So the joke was gonna be along those lines. Yeah. But Sajara Eubanks, super impressive in this fight.
Oh yeah.
She looked real good on the outside. Has definitely tightened up her boxing a decent amount. She's kept banging Lauren with right hands. Shouts out to that motorcycle also. That's fucking my favorite. Hey, you guys, I'm moving soon, so that won't be a problem anymore. Although we will be doing this over Skype, so Chris's roommates will be a problem, but luckily we know that.
Oh,
so
yeah, Trevor fucking
we'll
opening the
Trevor
fridge.
into we'll shame Trevor and Blake into not drinking during the show. Good luck with that. But yeah, Sajara was pressuring hard early, and she kept landing that right hand over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, she was tripling up on it in some of the exchanges. I gave her a clear 10-9 in the first round just off of strikes landed. And then Lauren was way more aggressive in the second, but Sajara was still landing a bunch. She hit that big double leg against the cage, where she went from a double to a single and picked her up and dumped her hard.
Oh, yeah.
I think landed in a half guard. And I have a couple questions about this fight. I had it a clear 30-27 for Sajara. How'd you have it?
That's how I had it too.
So, I agree, and the judges agree, except for one judge named Mr. Douglas Crosby.
Was this a split decision?
No, I don't think so. But Mr. Douglas Crosby did give one of those rounds to Sajara, I'm pretty sure. Here, let me pull up.
To Lauren?
Yes, to Lauren, sorry. Let me pull up MMADecisions.com, the only website to look at MMA decisions, Alan. Oh, that's right. Someone scored one of those rounds. Fucking whoever the fuck Corrado is. Let's call this person out by name. Who the fuck scored that fight for Volante? Tim Corrado. You're bad at your job, bro. How the fuck do you score that fight for Volante over Sam Alvey? It's not good. Speaking of not good, Judge Doug Crosby gave that fight 29-28. To Eubanks. He scored the second round for Lauren Murphy, which, if you remember right, that was the round where she pressured for a little bit, landed for like a minute or so, landed almost nothing, then got single-legged and dumped super hard, and then punched on the ground for the entire rest of the round, essentially. Yeah. Doug Crosby gave that round to Lauren Murphy. because he is a great judge.
He probably got distracted after watching half the second round.
Well, to be fair to Doug Crosby, well, actually not to be fair.
No, he probably went on Twitter to tweet more stuff for Colby.
Oh, I think he's just racist or something awful. He seems like the kind of trash person who would have biases against. Like,
it's a possibility.
Oh, Sajara Eubanks is from New York, but not my kind of New York. You know what I mean? Also, shouts out to Sal D'Amato for scoring a fight correctly for once at 30-27. It's a bad sign for you when you're Doug Crosby and Sal D'Amato scoring better than you, which will be a theme tonight on this recap, because holy shit was there some bad judging from both of them. We'll keep moving on. Let's see, where were we at? So I had Eubanks via decision. I actually changed it to KO TKO late on Saturday, I believe it was, when I posted my picks, because I had heard that Lauren Murphy was having mad trouble with weight cuts. And her weight cut was really rough. So I ended up switching it to a TKO because I thought she would be able to bang out Lauren via ground and pound in the third, probably, but Lauren's stuff is shit, so it doesn't really surprise me. But I think clear 27 for Sajara Eubanks. Speaking of fucked up judging, Nick Lentz fought David Tamer. How did you have this fight going? So Tamer in the first round almost dropped him with a hook as he's coming in. He like half dropped him. And then the rest of that fight, I feel like Tamer won just by boxing him on the outside. And
I had team underwears, I think 30-27 is how I scored it.
You're right.
It was pretty clear to me.
Very clear. However, I don't know if you remember who Nick Lentz's poem writer was.
Doug Crosby? I don't know.
It was Doug Crosby.
Oh.
You know who the judge for this fight was?
Probably Doug Crosby, or is it D'Amato fucking it up?
It was Doug Crosby. Doug Crosby gave the fight 29-28 Tamer because he thought Lentz won a round. How the fuck... Also, this is the second fight in New York that Lentz has had that Doug Crosby has reffed. This has been brought up before by major media members like Mike Raimondi.
This is my biggest question now. For 225...
Mark Raimondi.
Can you find out who the judges are before the day of the main event?
We probably can.
Because how much you want to bet? Doug Crosby's going to be one of the judges for Colby Covington.
I don't know if it's been posted yet. It doesn't look like 225 is posted yet for who's going to be judging.
Because get ready for Doug Crosby. Going to give us some rounds to Colby. If it goes a distance.
Yeah, it looks like judges aren't posted yet. Normally that's week of.
But you know what I mean? So.
No. So Doug Crosby only gets used in New York, though.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, because he's from New York.
Oh, never mind.
Which is also why I think he picked against fucking Sajara Eubanks. Because I think Sajara Eubanks is not his New York.
Oh. Yeah.
Not white enough.
Yeah.
Fucking Doug Crosby's a trash person. It's fucking upsetting. I don't understand how he's allowed to judge fights of his friends. Especially when he's the asshole who complained about, Ricardo Almeida shouldn't be judging fights because he fought, so it's not really fair. Like, he's not...
That kind of helps, though, because if you fought before, then you know what to look for.
Also, he's not judging fights with his fucking friends in them, Doug Crosby. But no, for sure act cocky about how you get all your fighter friends' roles as stuntmen. Keep talking real hard about that, because that's why everyone likes you. Go on Chael's podcast and write more hot garbage. Speaking of which, hot garbage is the main event, co-main event? Are they the main event next weekend?
Who?
Hot garbage and RDA?
Yes.
So Hot
co-main.
Yeah, so Hot Garbage, as written by Doug Crosby, is the co-main next weekend too. So this dude has officially tainted 2 back-to-back UFC cards for me, because I used to like Colby the Delicious Cheese Covington, as Hammer MMA used to refer to him as, and then Doug Crosby ruined everything.
By the way, speaking of that, and we'll talk more about it on Friday when we do the 225
absolutely
preview, but I am so glad I had muted him on Twitter. I don't know if I still follow Colby
I think I muted him too.
But I had muted him because I listened to Luke Thomas. I saw like a clip. I listened to a lot of his interview with Colby. he ended up, of course, spoiling Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I muted him.
Oh, that was the clip where he talked about why he spoils movies?
Yeah.
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 I didn't listen to that because
yeah.
I don't care what Colby has to say because it's all pre-written.
Yeah. But I've thought about it, I'm like, oh, wait, thank God I muted him.
Like, when Colby actually talks, he's totally okay.
Yeah.
Like, when he talks
when he's off script, he's fine.
Yeah, when he talks like himself, he's fine. And then he goes into fucking Doug Crosby pro wrestler, who's like the world's shittiest Jim Barnett character. Just like, oh my god. He's like Dusty Rhodes if Dusty Rhodes' whole gimmick was, I'm a fucking idiot.
Pretty much.
The American Nightmare. No, actually, the American Nightmare was a person. The American Trash. Colby Covington.
Yeah, this is hot garbage is his name.
God.
Anyways, yeah, good win
Awful.
for David Tamer and Team Underwears.
That's right, and fuck you to Nick Lentz for getting Doug Crosby to ref 2 of your fights back to back.
This next fight is kind of what we all expect. I actually expected a finish. I think you might have too.
I believe
Shouts out to Chance
so.
Rencounter for being tough as fuck.
Actually, you had it by decision.
Oh wow.
Which is smart. Chance is tough as fuck, but Bilal just worked behind his jab the entire fucking fight and lit dude up.
And shouts out to Bilal for fighting during Ramadan, because how the fuck can you do that?
Not only fighting, but training.
Training, yeah, that's nuts.
Training is the crazier part to me, honestly.
That's crazy.
And Bilal has got to be getting up there in the ranking.
Dude's a fucking warrior.
Bilal, like, you got to... I have Bilal probably top 15.
Yeah, or near it.
Like, him and...
Oh, God, is Nicholson above him? Oh, I thought
No.
Nicholson.
No.
Well,
and also Tapology does
I know, they
rankings
combine, like,
outside of
everything. Yeah.
all the orgs, so it's a little weird looking at their rankings. However, you know what I'd love to see if Joban gets a win? Him versus Joban.
They already fought, and it was a fucking insanely cool fight.
Yeah. And I think they're both better.
Rematch then?
Yeah, I think they're both better.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they'll do that, but I think it would be a lot of fun.
I actually could see him fighting Max Griffin next.
Max Griffin would be another great option. Or Mike Perry, or... who's Mike Perry fighting right now?
He's about to fight Yancey, dude, at 226.
Dude, Bilal versus Yancey.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Like, there's a ton of fun matchups for that dude that weight class. And I honestly, if I was to put my money on somebody winning a belt at that weight class... That dude is up there on my list of people who are getting slept on. That dude's hands, I've been high on him since his Titan fight. When he, I believe it was the second to last Titan fight, when he just put hands on a dude and just completely worked him in that fight. I've been a big fan of Bilal for a while, and I think that, number one, he's fucking hilarious on Twitter, which immediately I'm rooting for you. Shouts out to Jake Smith. Shouts out to Angie Hill. Shouts out to anybody who's hilarious. Chase Sherman is up there. Yeah, if you're funny on Twitter, I immediately fucks with you way more than anyone else. But, dude's great, and he was fantastic on Titan back in the day. I think he'd be underrated as an analyst or a desk dude also.
I think so too.
He's very quick, man. He's very quick, and he's
always on all those MMA pros pick videos.
Yeah, and he's very articulate. Like, I'm a big fan of that dude. I think he's going places, so I'm excited to see what's next for him for sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, and he won that fight 30-27 across all three scorecards, even though Sal D'Amato was judging, which is always a good sign.
This fight these last three fights I did not see. I did see the highlight of the...
Shit, I forgot you didn't see Wood and Torres. Let's talk about Green real quick. So, Des Green versus Gleason Tebow, actually...
Did he box him, like outside box jab?
He did exactly what you think would happen. But... You know what? We're going to take a very quick break that you guys aren't even going to notice. We're going to be back in 2 seconds because I need Chris to see how polka dotted Gleason Tebow was, and we will. I also need him to see the two weird ass finishes that happened before that. So we'll be right back. All right, we are back. That was a weird break. We started off watching the three fights left, and then we ended up watching little B videos. I showed Chris the one where they do the Lost Boys remix. I showed him how Lil B cooks and he swags. It was a whole experience.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
He doesn't invest in belts either, but
No,
if he had that
definitely
much
not.
money,
Or shoes for that
either.
matter. Yeah.
Fuck, could just walk around barefoot.
Hey, shouts out to Lil B and shouts out to Jake Smith, who also is a big fan of Lil B, I found out this week. And Dune. Shouts out to my buddy Dune, at DUNE on Twitter. He's hilarious. You want to see the funniest dude with a beard and ironic tattoos that I don't know if it's ironic. I don't even think he knows if it's ironic. But he has a great podcast called Dune Reads Goosebumps, where he reads all Goosebumps books, if you guys want to hear that.
I'm really telling him about that.
It's fantastic. You guys ever read a Goosebumps book as a kid? You're doing yourself a disfavor by not listening to his podcast, where he reads Goosebumps books while drinking a Steel Reserve tall can in a tub. It's a real good experience. So I recommend that. But anyway, we are back to these last three fights. Gleison Tebow took on
Desmond
Des
Green,
Green.
not Bobby Green.
I
Guy is also a lightweight fighter.
Yes, I was being hesitant because I have almost made the mistake like 3 times. But Bobby Green ain't got no hair.
That's true.
That makes that a lot easier. But yeah, Bobby Green basically did what both of us predicted in the fight, which is outfight and let Gleison Tebow's apologies ahead of time, T-Rex arms, not let him ever reach him, really.
Yeah.
He just couldn't ever get a takedown. And
Tebow basically just had those spots on his chest were basically just body targets.
I forgot to say that Gleison, the polka dot Tebow,
the Dalmatian, whatever you want to call him, the spot.
Dude, he was so dotted. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, those were just extra targets.
Sorry. Gleison, the polka dot Tebow.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. The polka dot, I really like it because it's got a little bit of 5,000 flavor. It's got a little bit of polka dot flavor. Really is a good combination for MMA, so I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, hey bro, maybe don't cup the day of your fight. I don't know how close to the fight he must have had that cupping done, but
it's
Jesus,
like
dude.
the night before or some shit. So
Even
it's like 8 hours prior.
Also, don't get cupping done when you're cutting weight.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible idea. So I don't know. But yeah, it was. At first, I thought he was having the world's worst version of Kevin Lee staff. Then I saw that it was consistent all over him, and I was like, okay, well, either he has literally gotten polka dot tattoos, or. But pretty interesting fight. I don't know who you give Des Green next.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Like 155 is so stacked that I don't know. You could give him. Who beat Nick Lentz?
I don't know.
David Tamer, perfect. Yeah.
Team under
Sure.
Bars.
I think that's a fun fight. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
High volume.
Speaking of fun fights, Nathaniel Wood and Johnny Eduardo had a great fight.
I liked this fight a lot.
It was super fun. Johnny Eduardo.
Did he gas in that second round? I'm trying to remember because he got taken to the ground.
I don't think he gassed. I think there was a couple of things that happened. I think Nathaniel Wood was landing heavy, low calf kicks early. And then Johnny Eduardo started being able to time him and counter with big fucking winging hooks. And then once he landed one of those hooks, he would plow forward with like 6 of them and then just back off so he didn't gas. I do think he started slowing down a little bit, but he definitely won that first round very clearly. And then in the second, I think honestly what happened was he got clipped by some of the
I think it was one of those counters, like right to the sternum or something like that. It just knocked the wind out of him. I think he was kind of...
And Nathaniel was landing some hard straight rights throughout that fight. But, and a lot of them were as Johnny was coming in. So, and a lot of shots to the body. So I wonder how much of that.
Yeah, he did a good job keeping his head off the center line when he was setting up his counter.
Yeah.
When Eduardo would kind of commit to that quick little 1-2.
Yeah.
That he liked to throw.
Yeah, and then Eduardo just dove in on that single leg and immediately.
That's what it was. That's how he stayed on the ground. He dove in for the single leg.
Dove in for the single leg.
Scrambled really well.
Would immediately recognize it, stuffed it. Eduardo pulls half guard Damian Maia style.
He hit him with a couple of forearms.
Not even that.
Ear.
Not even that. Immediately when he went down off that single leg, he immediately got that vice grip Darce set up. where he immediately stuffed it with the arm on or his arm under dude's arm and has the clamp across the back of the neck, and he's just waiting to hook a leg in so he can feed the arm through. And eventually he feeds the arm through.
Either way, I was highly impressed. That was a good way to kind of come back, regroup, and get that finish. That was cool.
Definitely, it was super impressive. And one thing to shout out also is Nathaniel Wood was absolutely fantastic on Brad One Punch Pickett's podcast, One Punch Pod. It's fucking... That was the one where they went to Black's Burgers.
Oh, yeah.
And they did the burger... Like, they ate a giant-ass burger after Nathaniel Wood's last fight, which was a tough-ass fight if you go back and watch it, where it was back and... It looked a lot like this. Maybe it was 2 fights ago. But it looked a lot like this, where he took a ton of punishment, got rocked late in the first, and then came back in the second. Was able to get the finish. So... he's a super entertaining dude, a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see what he's got going forward in that division for sure.
Yeah, me as well.
And I hope he starts podcasts or is on Brad Pickett's podcast more, because Brad Pickett was in his corner. I think it's coach, and I would love to hear them on mic more, because they're both super funny. So, that was dope as hell. And then we got the first fight of the night. Also, the most fucked up fight of the night. Yeah. Shout out to Luca Fury and Jordan Breen's birthday, who I feel like were responsible for a KO, self-KO via slam result. I feel like they are the two people who would cheer for that over any other event. When was the last time
someone knocked himself out?
My go-to would be Evan Tanner did it to himself after the other dude broke his rib. And then Evan Tanner fought. Or maybe the other dude was... Like, yeah.
I know people were mentioning it on Reddit.
There's an Evan Tanner one, and then there was a Matt Lindland. No, was it Matt Lindland? Oh, it was on UFC 43 had one.
Wasn't there? I don't know if it was. I think it was outside the UFC, but I think there was one where two wrestlers shot at the same time and they clammed their heads together and both got knocked off.
I don't even know that one.
I think unless I'm tripping out.
That it's super possible. Reddit has some deep references. Yeah. But yeah, I actually, ironically enough, UFC 43, Collapse MMA, that fantastic podcast, just did an episode about Collapse 43, where I believe it's UFC 43, where I believe it's Matt Lindland who, no, it's not Wes Sims, because Wes Sims has the Frank Mir stomp out. I think it's Matt Lindland KOs himself on the cage via takedown. Which is fucking... Or on the mat, rather.
Yeah, as far as getting KO'd on the mat, still one of my favorite ones is when Galore Buffando...
Charlie Ward!
Yeah,
Connor's
Charlie
boy.
Ward dumped him right on his fucking head. That was
Connor's
great.
boy.
Yeah.
That was the guy who Connor tried to fight Dan Mergliato over.
Yeah, and then Charlie Ward beat up some guy, and then he gets up and yells at him when he's not. It's like, dude, come on. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a whole thing, so... Anyway, we are not talking about either of those fights. Jared Brooks versus Jose Shorty Torres. Jared Brooks was beating the shit out of Jose Shorty Torres for this entire fight.
He had this fight won. He
didn't lose any part of the fight other than when he spiked himself on the back of his own head.
Yeah, and
that was the only part he lost.
It's probably because his girlfriend said, "Honey, we're getting married if you win."
Yeah, you said Rampage said that.
Well, it was like he posted the video and it said, "When your girl says, 'If you win this fight, babe, we're getting married,' and it's just Q2, dumping
yourself on your back of your own head." Yeah. It's a takedown that Frankie Edgar hit like way back in the day, I believe. That's always on the promo.
Yeah, because if Torres didn't get that hook,
he got the body lock.
In,
yeah, when he was inverted. Without that body lock, he probably would have just gotten slammed. Like actually, ironically enough, Rampage style. But he grabbed that body lock when he was inverted, so. Dude went to flop on him and came down on the wrong side and slammed his head. But other than that, Jared Brooks is winning the shit out of the fight. I know Jared Brooks has said some sketchy shit on Twitter since then. Some misty stuff, as Eugene S. Robinson would say, where he's like, "Oh, I was winning that fight until I knocked myself out. You didn't win, blah, blah, blah." Which is like, I get it, but probably don't say that on Twitter. Maybe rap about it.
Yeah.
I like your raps, bro. We have played his raps on the show. They're not the worst, you guys. They're not the worst. I made Chris listen to Lil B right now. Jared Brooks and Lil B, not that far apart.
No, not really.
I knew that would be your opinion. That's the wrong
kidding.
opinion.
I don't fucking know, dude.
That's the wrong opinion, but it's a fair opinion. If you don't want,
like we said before, Lil B is creative. He doesn't need a belt, and he wears the same shoes.
That's right. Hey, Lil B is the people's champ, and don't let him curse you, or else you're fucked. Shouts out to LeBron.
Yeah. Shouts out to sports superstitions.
Shouts out to real ass truth about Lil B.
Yeah.
Lil B cursed LeBron, and LeBron was fucked for a couple years. Lil B lifted the curse. LeBron was good again. What does that mean, Chris?
Oh yeah, right. Well, not this year. They're fucked either way. But then again,
maybe Lil B brought the curse back.
The
I'm paying
Warriors
attention.
ruined the NBA. But anyways, that's
although
besides the point.
I think Lil B cursed MMA recently by saying it's a barbaric sport, and he doesn't support it, which is a bummer because I think it came from Rogan talking about with Tom Segura how he wants Lil B on, which I was like, oh my god, this is me and Dune's favorite podcast ever, or Dune and I rather. But then Lil B tweeted out about how he hates MMA and he thinks it's for barbarians. And I was like, fucking ruined my dreams, Lil B.
Okay. To each his own.
Greatest podcast ever, Joe Rogan and Lil B. Anyway, yeah, man, I don't know. Jose Shorty Torres, I would like to see him fight. Actually, literally, is Ryan Benoit still in the UFC?
I have no idea, actually. That's a good question.
I know Smolka got dropped, right?
I think he got cut.
I think Benoit got cut, too.
I think he did get cut, too. I'm pretty sure he got cut, actually.
Benoit hasn't fought. Well, he fought in
fought
November.
I don't know.
If Benoit's still on roster, I'd love to see Benoit.
Yeah.
If not, the loser of the Yuta Sasaki, the Oka Sasaki fight, maybe?
Huh.
Versus Lauza, only because of the. I normally wouldn't say the loser because I know they don't like matching winners against losers. But when you win via the other dude KOing himself via slam, I feel like it's a little bit less up in the air than that.
Yeah.
And that would be a crazy size difference.
It would, yeah. That'd be kind of really interesting.
Okay.
How tall is Shorty Torres? Probably like 5'4".
Oh,
5'5".
I mean, his head is the same size as Yoka Sasaki.
Well, I know Sasaki's 5'10", which I don't see why he cut or how he cuts to 125.
Dude, for
That's
real,
really
he's
skinny.
the James Vick of that division.
He's 5'4".
5'4", yeah. But they're gonna have the same size head, so who knows?
It's a big target for Sasaki.
Yeah, but also Shorty Torres.
But then again, Shorty Torres has a lot of leg to grab onto too.
That, and I think he's probably the better wrestler out of the two. I would think. Yeah. Like Shorty Torres' wrestling game was good against Jared Brooks, apart from the couple really good entries Jared Brooks hit. Yeah. And that does not include the one where he killed himself in the ring. But I think that'll be fun going forward. I really am a fan of the flyweight division, even though I know a lot of people aren't. But we'll go ahead and wrap this here.
It's the fun size division.
Yeah, it is fun size for a reason. There's a lot of action and not a lot of stalling.
Yeah. You
can't really stall in that division unless you're running.
I've never seen a flyweight tire out.
Or really be able to run away successfully.
Yeah.
You can't really run away from another flyweight.
Yeah.
You just both end up constantly having, even if you're both, I guess there's been a couple.
I feel like you don't really see cardio issues until 155.
No, not unless John Lineker's in the division.
Well, good point. Yeah.
But that's more of a weight cut issue than anything. Yeah.
Every 5 seconds.
Well, that too, and weight cuts in that division were an issue for a while. But anyway, we have this weekend the UFC 225 card, which we'll get to on Friday.
The second. Well, this is subjective. In my opinion, the second best card of the year.
First,
226.
Oh yeah.
They're still adding.
I thought you meant so far. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
226 is definitely
barring everyone makes weight.
Oh, and barring there's no UFC 200. John Jones takes coke and hits ladies or whatever.
Yeah,
happened.
barring no one gets barred.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, but which I'm sure we've now cursed. So congratulations, everyone can officially blame Chris when you hear that everything fell apart at UFC 206.
Everyone keep an eye on Bobby Knuckles' knees, and everyone please take care of Yoel Romero's diet this week.
Yeah, And also, diet is in quotes, and he's making needle motions at his arm. I don't know. You guys couldn't see that part, but I'm just translating for him.
Sure, I did that.
You definitely did that, and I definitely didn't make it up.
Yeah.
So, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode here, but you guys can find us at thesoundviolence.com or sovpod.com. Send us an email, sovpod@gmail.com or chris@thesoundviolence.com. Hit us up on Twitter, tsovpod. And, yeah, we do YouTube sometimes. I do playlists of what we're talking about podcast-wise. Shouts out to that car. I do playlists about that car outside. I don't do that. Yeah, man, that's about all I want to plug. Oh, also, I breaking news, even though it's not confirmed at all, and I'm completely basing this off speculation.
Breaking unconfirmed news.
That's right, breaking unconfirmed news based off of Tapology pages. I believe, Summerfest 9 at the Del Mar Fair, which is the fairgrounds out here in San Diego during the summer. They're going to be doing their MMA card where we have pictures on the website from the last one that Sam Alvey has a bunch of his amateurs fighting on. I'm assuming, talked to Sam earlier in the year, and he said he's expecting his amateurs to get a bunch of those. So, hopefully he'll be down here again this year to do that, and we will be out there hopefully to do some pictures.
Yeah,
and
get some good coverage.
Yeah, maybe I'll get some video or something. We will definitely give that a watch, and we'll cover that on the show. So, look forward to that. Summerfest 9. If you guys are in San Diego, go ahead and come out. I may have to try and drag Matt Hawkins down there if I can get a hold of him and if he's available that weekend. So we will actually that week because it's a Sunday, right?
It's Sunday, yeah.
So it should be interesting. June 24th down at Del Mar Fair. So look forward to that, and we will be back on Friday, I believe, right?
Yes.
Or you guys will probably hear it for late Friday, early Saturday, depending on how fucked up I get. But, well, hey man, editing takes some fucking time. So we will be back then with all of our podcast recommendations. So far, spoiler alert, a little bit of a slow week.
Yeah.
But Sean O'Malley's on Joe Rogan's podcast tomorrow.
I'll try to pick some interesting ones too if I can. A lot more newer stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever it kind of intrigues me, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, and Sean O'Malley is going to be on Rogan's podcast tomorrow, which is there's going to be some quotes coming out of that, I have a feeling. Yeah. A lot of weed and Fortnite talk, because Jamie loves Fortnite, and Sean O'Malley loves Fortnite.
Jamie, pull up this clip from blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right, no. It'll just be Sean O'Malley talking about Fortnite, and Rogan being like, Jamie, and Jamie already has, his own clip uploaded. Yeah, it's going to be a thing. So look forward to that, and until then, everybody, go do some decking it. We out.